Good morning, everybody. It is the Savagestacker. First and foremost, like always, I'd like to thank everybody for coming by my YouTube channel. If you wouldn't mind, at the end or now or anytime you feel like it, if I've earned it, give me a thumbs up and a subscribe. That'd be much appreciated. The thumbs up really helps out the algorithm. And thank you for your time. And I know I haven't made a lot of videos lately, and I've been really under the weather. I'm taking some medication that I got to be on for 3 months, and it wipes me out. So bear with me here. I'm trying to be on top of it. It's just, man, it has really wiped me out. So trying to get some videos out, and I will, I promise. And there's quite a few of you that have been hitting me up lately, asking me where I've been, and I thank everybody for doing that. And trying to get back to it. And, I've taken quite a few breaks in the past year or so, and I'm gonna try to get back to it and grind this out. All right. So yesterday I went to my first larger coin show. It was in Santa Clara, and it wasn't huge, but there was quite a few people there, which tells me that the stacking and the coin community is strong. There was quite a few people there, elbow to elbow. Everywhere you went, there was somebody right there. There's about 35 to 40 tables, and they were quite big. I thought it was going to be a little bit smaller than that, but it was a pretty good sized show. And I got to meet some fantastic people. And I also learned, one of the things that I learned is that people watch our videos. And one table in particular, I was there looking for 1 ounce bars. Of course, I had already spent my budget on Thursday, got a bunch of silver, got this nice, beautiful Hoffman and Hoffman 10 ounce or 10.33 ounce vintage silver bar here. Cost me a pretty penny for that one right there. And bought some gold and a couple other things. And so I already blew my budget for the 2 weeks, but I had to go to this coin show. One of my subscribers, which now I call a friend because I've met up with him quite a few times, kept hitting me up about going, and I just haven't. I felt under the weather, and this medication has just been driving me down, but I had to go. So me and my son went, and I'm glad I did. I got to meet a lot of amazing people, a lot of people that are embedded in this community or into the coin and bullion world other than this YouTube or Instagram community. And I learned a lot, and also learned that they watch our videos. One table in particular, talked to a guy, told him, hey, my name is so-and-so, I have a YouTube channel, and I'm not filming today because I just want to fill everything out. I don't see anybody else filming here, so I didn't want anybody uncomfortable, but I have a YouTube channel. This is my name. He's like, oh, I watch your videos. I watch all your videos. And so I'm really... I found you because I was watching another guy's video on the guardhouse box on Silver Struck's channel. And so he has watched every one of Silver Struck's videos. He's watched my videos and a couple other guys that make the guardhouse 1 ounce vintage bar little challenge, if you will, or goal. And I was like, oh, right on. And we got to talking a little bit. And he unfortunately didn't have any vintage bars because he keeps them for himself. Whenever they come into his shop, he keeps them and he saves them. And so that just backs up my theory that we're kind of shooting ourselves in the foot here by talking about this stuff, because I only found one table there that had any vintage 1 ounce bars, and they were expensive. I mean, we're talking from 50 and up for just not even like some national bars, right? And I know national can be kind of expensive, but for most of them, he wanted like $60. And I was like, no. I know these guys search this kind of stuff out sometimes, and then they try to make some good coin off it. And I didn't want to offend him, so I just said, oh, okay, right on, thank you, and showed me some other ones. And then this one he charged me $30 for, and I don't have one of these. Southeast Refining, Panama City, Florida. Pretty cool bar there, and almost looks like a Canadian Engelhard bar almost. and how to get this right here. So I picked that up for $30. And but yeah, only one table there. I did see a 10-ounce poured Engelhard Gold bar there, a couple of poured Engelhard 2-ounce bars. That was pretty cool. And I got to see some fun stuff, but there was only one table that had that stuff. And everybody else mostly had graded coins, a lot of bullion there, but nothing, super spectacular. There's only one table there that was really into vintage, and he knew what he had, and his prices were very, very high. I mean, even higher than we would find stuff on auctions and on eBay. They were even higher than that. And I was like, ooh, okay. So, and I had blown my budget anyways last week, so I really didn't have much in the way of funds I could have, but I just didn't want to. We got Valentine's Day coming and stuff like that, so I'm trying to save some money, to splurge on my girls and my wife. So I didn't want to spend a bunch of money. But back to what I was saying, these guys watch our videos. And this is now like the third time that they've told me that we are kind of, hurting ourselves by trying to stack a particular thing and talking about it. And people go out and search for those things themselves, and which is cool. That's fine. But I did not know it would have that big of a dramatic effect on especially this area. I mean, I've been all over. I've been to a few dozen coin shops and now a coin show. People tell me the same thing. What you guys are talking about affects what people are buying. And I thought it was really cool. I ran into a few people that knew exactly who I was, what the channel was, and who Silver Struck was, and a bunch of different channels, and even learned about another channel, and which a guy, I don't remember his name, but he's got like 128,000 subscribers, and he's in the community, but I've never even heard of him, which is crazy to me. But learned some fun stuff. I did learn a lot about the vintage world from that one table, and about how to get into different vintage societies that are out there. There's a couple in California. There's a couple all over the place, and how to get involved in like groups for Engelhard collecting and stuff like that. And there's actual groups of people that meet up on the internet or in forums and stuff, and they talk about things and have meetings and stuff and what bars they've found, and adding that to allengelhard.com and all these things. So there is a lot of stuff going on with vintage outside of YouTube and Instagram and all those things. There's little vintage societies that are pretty big into a lot of this stuff, and they are always trying to find some stuff that hasn't even been discovered yet, and they are finding them. There are a lot more lately than there was before. So vintage is coming back in a major way, and getting very popular again, and the prices are showing so, because he says that some of this stuff 5 years ago he'd have it in the case and no one would even ask about it. They wouldn't look for it. The prices were super low. But now, as of late, it's very popular. People are looking for it. They're asking for it. It's in demand. The prices are through the roof, and super fun stuff. A lot of those guys are really cool. Some great time, great channels, or great tables. And it's kind of interesting to see that people do watch our stuff, and people knew exactly who I was, and a bunch of you out there, a bunch of other channels were. And it's just fascinating. I never would even think in a million years that people would know who I am. I go into it thinking like, hey, my name is so-and-so. I have a YouTube channel. And they're like, oh, I thought, a lot of times I'm gonna have to explain to them what we do. And quite a few tables are like, oh yeah, I've seen your stuff. Got some really nice vintage. I'm really into, how you stack this way or that way. And they consistently watch. So it's pretty cool. I did hand out some stickers, and got some new subscribers that's already commented on my channel, and it's pretty cool. Anyways, lately I've been deeply engrossed in vintage silver, and right now we're going to move into another subject a little bit here. right now is a perfect opportunity to buy a lot of weight, a lot of generic silver, a lot of cheap, just buffaloes or sunshine mint bars or whatever. Just something. Let's see if I have something here. Something cheap, stuff like this, right? Just your basic Silvertown bars, just your generic stuff or rounds or whatever. And I've been buying a lot of vintage. So I've been buying some Sunshine Mining stuff, the Hoffman and Hoffman, quite a few different things lately. And sometimes I get a good deal for them. Sometimes I do, and sometimes I don't. Like this was very cheap, and it's not super popular, but it's old and it's fun. But certain things I pay a pretty penny for. Like this was quite a bit over spot. It was a lot of money, but it was about half of what you're seeing them go online for. So I don't feel, upset at the price I paid. But at this time, I need to pull back the reins a little bit. This purchase and this purchase are purchases that I made that are quite a bit over spot. And I probably could have added another at least 10 more ounces of silver just between the two premiums on these two pieces here. Probably 20, actually. I'd say, yeah. 50, so 250. So probably, yeah. So I could have added almost, if I would add another $60, I could have added 20 more ounces of silver to the stack just between those two purchases. And those are the only two I made that were very pricey. But right now, the way premiums are and the way spot price is, it's probably a really good idea to try to stay away from this stuff. I know that it's fun, it's beautiful, it's vintage. It gives you a feeling when you get a new vintage piece. You're like, oh my God, I got a nice piece, right? But if you're trying to stack weight right now at this time, it's probably a good time to just buy generic silver because the vintage price is strong. It's going up. It's not coming down with spot price. So as prices are going down with generic silver and just bullion class silver, the prices of vintage is staying the same or going up. So probably not the best time to be stacking vintage unless you can find a good find at a coin shop where it makes sense and they give it to you for bullion prices, generic prices. And I usually find those deals a lot, and that's usually what I'm looking for. But I do tend to find something that I've been trying to get my hands on for a while, saying, okay, justifying it and spending that price. But right now, like even if a spot price was at $30 an ounce, this bar probably would have been the same price. And at $23 an ounce, it's still the same price. So at this time, when premiums are low and the price of silver is low, spot price is low, I'm going to switch gears and just start buying generic and stacking more weight. And that's what I'm going to start doing from here on out. I am buying gold. I did say I was going to start buying gold, but with the way that the GSR is, I think it's really smart right now to buy silver and to try to stay away from high premium stuff and buy generic bullion. And that can come in many, many forms, from, Buffalo 1 ounce rounds to, 10 ounce Liberty bars or whatever it is. Like this is the new bar right here from Sunshine Mint. And these are very cool. You have like the blue and the rainbow color and the eagle there. Yeah, these are pretty cool. I'm not really into naked men on my coins and bars and stuff, but it's pretty cool looking bar. The artwork's cool. And, I do like bars that have really cool artwork on them. I do love this, the Great Engravers series of bars from the Royal Mint. And, but if I can get it for a good price point right now, I think that's what I'm going to be switching to, is getting away from vintage. I have added quite a bit of vintage and retro pieces to the stack lately. And, I used to just buy a little Scooby snack once a month or once every couple months, give me a little piece of vintage. Lately, I've been going after it every week or every 2 weeks, and for the last month. So I'm gonna get away from that. I'm gonna try to jump back into just generic. And my coin shop right now has a bunch of just cast bars, those Eagle cast bars, and also some Money Metals Exchange cast bars that are very, very cheap. And I've passed over them multiple times just to buy vintage. And I should have been stacking that the whole time, especially when you're paying $1.50 over spot. And I probably would have had in the last 2 months another 20 to 40 ounces of silver just based on what I've spent on vintage. So time to go back to stacking weight, actually stacking and not collecting, because I do have some of my Grail bars here. This quarter bonded, the Cascade Refining, of course. That quarter bonded, this here, which I did see one of these yesterday at the coin show, 3 ounce for $1,150. And then this Hoffman right here, another one that I've been trying to get for a couple years. And so now that I have the pieces that I want, I'm going to finish off this box. And I have that from a friend in the community. I can finish filling that up. I did get this. It doesn't fit in the case, but it fits on the side there. And so that's cool. That'd be 26 bars, I guess. But I got 6 more slots to fill. And I also picked this up yesterday because I have the 10 ounce and the 5 ounce. So I had to pick up the 1 ounce. So now I have the whole collection, the whole prospector bar. And he tried to tell me a pretty high price, and I talked him down a little bit. But this guy that sold me this, really good guy, and had some really nice stuff there. A lot of people at that coin show were very nice. They were. I was waiting for people to be a little bit more standoffish. I don't know why. I've just been in coin shops before where people are very odd at some coin shops, so I figured I'd be running into a bunch of those. And I didn't film because I didn't want to make the whole experience awkward for them as well as me. But it's there's another show coming up in like 2 weeks, and I'm going to go to. I was actually got invited, got a free ticket, and I'm also entered in a drawing where I could win a $20 St. Gaudens, I guess. Automatically, the guy put me in for that. So I'm going to go check out that show. And that one's about an hour and a half drive away, but I got plenty of head, time to save a little bit and go to that show. So I did talk to a couple people. They are going to be there. They said I could film, so I will film this next show, and hopefully in the meantime I stay away from vintage and add a little more weight, because that's what this is about, is weight. One thing about vintage is I'm probably going to hold on to this stuff, most of it, for a very long time. And if anything was ever to happen to me, God forbid, I've got to make a cheat sheet for this stuff, because I don't want my wife or my children going down and selling a bar like this, which is, I know, is $1,000 bar, 3 ounces of silver, and getting $100 for it from some coin shop, right? I do not want that to happen. Some are very honest, but some are not. They're like, nice, got this for bullion prices. Then they put it online and make $1,000 on it. I don't want that to happen. So I like to stack a lot more weight just because it's close to spot. I get more for my money. And if anything was ever to happen, God willing, and my kids, my wife had to sell this stuff and they got spot, it wouldn't be a big deal. It wouldn't be a huge hit. As of right now, I got to make a cheat sheet. Well, I already have a cheat sheet for all of this stuff. And I put down what I paid, put down what I think they should get for it, and a percentage that I think they should get if it's been 10 years down the road over whatever it is, and also to look around for what these things are going for. Now, Englehards are going to be hard because I have some here that are rare, and I have some that are just not so rare, but they look just like the other ones that are rare. So I had to highlight that, put a star next to it, put a spot to where to look them up at and where the best place to find out what the price would be. So a lot of this vintage is very hard on the family if they ever got to take care of something, once you're gone. This stuff, not so much. I don't care if they got spot for that. I don't even care if they got spot for this, even though I know this is a little bit more higher premium bar. But I would really hate if they got spot for this. Like, that would just, I'd roll in my grave. And so I like to leave something to my family that's a little easier to deal with. And I got to think along these lines, because I plan on holding on to this for a long time. Not all of it, but a lot of it. And I got to think about that stuff because I don't want to see or know that my children or my wife are going to get burned. And so I'm going to start going back to weight right now. What do you guys think about going to weight and just sticking with generic stuff? I know a lot of you that come by my channel love to look at the vintage, but you are just purely generic and weight stackers. And I respect that 100%. I used to be that way. I wouldn't even buy vintage unless I got it for bullion prices, like all of these Eagle Hards, that one, that one, that one, that one, these 4 here, and I got 6 more that are all bullion prices. These ones, there were more than that. But yeah, I have like 10 that are all basically bullion prices. And I wouldn't, I was cheap. I was a cheap ass. I would not buy it unless I got it for a really good deal. And I've turned away from that. And I don't want to do that no more. I really want to stack weight as much as I can right now, especially at these prices. Now, if silver was $30 an ounce and you're still paying only $35 an ounce for something like this, it's not a huge deal. But if you're paying $35 an ounce for something like that, and spots at $23 an ounce, I mean that's a lot, quite a bit, and that's a lot of extra ounces added to the stack or missing out of the stack by doing that 20, 30, 40 times. I love my vintage. I will not change it. There's a lot of vintage stackers out there that are probably going, but there's added value. It's not always that way. There's people I met in this coin show, have been doing this a long time, and it's like coins. It does this. And sometimes vintage price is way low. Nobody likes it. And sometimes vintage is through the roof. So it does with the market. It has a market, and it goes up and down. So that added value isn't always there. And the people that, if you leave it to your family, they may not understand that there's added value, and they might lose that added value. They may go to 3 places that's not willing to pay that added value. So you lose out anyways. So you got to be smart about it. And I don't plan on selling my vintage pretty much ever. So that's going to be what my family's stuck with if something was to happen. So now, because of the price and because of the premiums, I'm going to be going to probably just bullion for now. And that's not always. And I might buy one vintage. If I find a piece I can't not buy, like it's like, oh my God, I got to have that, I'm going to do it anyways. It's not set in stone, and I won't have to debate about it very long. But lately I've been buying a lot of vintage. All I want to see is that dingy, vintage, ugly, just to me, beautiful pieces, and I'm buying it. And I need to get away from that. I need to slow down a little bit. I need to get back into the roots of stacking and get back into just generic bullion. All right. Thank you, everybody, for coming by. I truly appreciate it. Please go down, hit that thumbs up and the subscribe button and all those things, and leave a comment. Let me know what's going on, and I'm going to try to bust out more videos. Thank you, everybody. Take care. Savagestackers, over and out.